All right, time to talk about this, where it's been, what's going on with it, and when it's going to get on the road. So it's obviously been a while since I uploaded many videos at all. Not sure there's been a lot of progress on this thing. There's been a little bit, but it's been hard going out here, been extremely busy, and yeah, stuff. It's getting down to the point where the little 1% jobs take a long time and it doesn't look like you get a lot of progress out of it. But let's run through some of the stuff now and show you exactly where this car is at. Now, it's been so long, I don't actually remember where I was up to on this last time. You guys probably saw it. So it was definitely running. So I'm pretty sure the fan, the radiator and all that was done. All of this was done as far as I'm aware. So in terms of, might take it from front to back of what needs doing now. Intercooler pipe is obviously missing. It is over there. Best thing if you're ever doing a project car is get some big tubs and keep everything to do with the project car in there. The parts you take off the car, the parts you buy, just locate everything in the one place, because if you start putting stuff away to be nice and neat over here, or in drawers over there, or on the shelf here, or over there, guarantee you, stuff will go missing. So everything there, put the intercooler pipe on there. Not sure what I'm doing with transmission cooler, if I'm going to have it up the back with this setup. I really probably want it up here. So I've got to mount the trans cooler here and AC condenser as well. And as you can see, not a whole lot of real estate here. Now, in terms of how much space I've got here, I've probably got about, I don't know, maybe about another 5 mil. So I might space this back another 5 mil just to give me that little space, and then I'll probably end up having to trim the grill a bit here. But yeah, in terms of engine bay stuff, there's not much little fiddly stuff. Like this ground wire is just temporary. It runs over here to the other side of the head, and that. And what did I just say? I said put everything in a big tub. I don't know what I have done with the bonnet latch. It is somewhere. I have it, so got to find that, and then I've got to triangulate this strut brace to that. So that will be all good. But in terms of engine bay stuff, yeah, not much else. I've got to flip the fan over so the wiring runs down that side, and then pretty much engine bay should be all good. So if we move across to the cabin, you'll see the shifter's sort of mounted. I've welded up basically most of the tunnel now. There's a little bit of a gap there, but all the tunnel's pretty much mounted. All of these for the seats now done. So front, you won't be able to see the rear, but the front ones are in, and steering wheel is in. I got some dry ice and knocked out all the sound deadener, so I'm in here now. It feels pretty comfortable. Temporarily knocked up, you can't see anything there, bad light, but temporarily knocked up a little pedal just so I can articulate the pedal, which sits nice. I like where it sits. Got the Raceworks steering wheel on, and I like my seating position here. It's, you know, I fit pretty well in this car. So unlike the RX-7, I have ample room above my head, whereas in the RX-7, literally with the helmet on, I'm almost touching the roof and touching the side here. But you can see how much room I've got in this car. I'll be much more comfortable to drive around as a weekend cruiser, which was the point. Race cars are for racing, and yeah, my street car is for just cruising around and having fun. So only other thing I really need to do in here is obviously the final tuck and tidy of all the wiring. The wiring is just loose and out and everywhere. Got to do that, and I've got to mount the bracket for this seat because hasn't been welded yet, but it's in place. So in terms of the rear of the car, the seats that I got are in. You might be able to see the gap is pretty tight, but I've moved this seat forward a bit more, and that gives the passenger might want to sit here and there, significantly more legroom, but there's still enough legroom, I guess, for a very small person to sit there, but that doesn't matter. I don't really care because I sit there, so too bad. But yeah, overall, as you can see, all the sound deadening's all pulled up, and yeah, all this is pretty much good to go inside the cabin. Coming over to the rear, fuel tank is in. I've started with some of the wiring at the back here. So obviously I've got two of these real budget PDMs, which is just a fuse box and fuses for the car. Now obviously I had I've got one up here sitting upside down at the moment that sits normally behind the glove box. And then I've got a second one up here for rear accessories. Because we've got two fuel pumps, we've got three fuel pumps, two main pressure pumps and one lift pump. I've got an electric water pump. I've got a thermo fan. You've got brake lights and stuff up here. It's just easier to run another fuse box up here. Similar to what guys do with PDMs, the smaller PDMs, they might run at one at the front of the car, one at the rear for road cars. I've got the battery isolator mounted now and a battery in a tray. And then this is the water tank for the water to air intercooler setup. But yeah, as you can see here, if I do, the reason I've planned this is that, and how I've done it with the factory fuel tank is, as you can see here, this is actually a really, really sizable area. So if I ever do drag challenge or some event like that, the idea is I don't want to have a trailer and I'll have enough room in there for everything. So if I did drag challenge, drag and drive events, whatever that, as you can see, I've got heaps of room in here, and then I can put stuff on the roof of roof racks or something like that. So I'm not interested in driving or carrying a trailer on that, because I like drag racing and I like events and stuff, but I think it's something I'll probably do once and maybe not ever again. It's not something, driving around for hours and hours and hours and hours in this thing. It's a really cool concept, and I know people really, really love it, and I enjoy watching it on TV. But I'm not a hardcore dyed-in-the-wool racer or anything like that. So it's not really my idea of fun to spend 5 days driving like whatever it is, 3,000 kilometers in a car like this. I'm a bit of a sook and a princess when it comes to my creature comforts. So I enjoy racing that thing, but quite honestly, I could take it or leave it. Even racing that thing, I probably much prefer sitting in the stands watching other people race, or looking over data and stuff like that, than actually racing it sometimes. So yeah, everything's coming along okay with this thing. There are tiny little jobs to do, such as that fuse box. Once that fuse box is finished, and then I mount something like that thermo fan underneath, mount the intercooler pipe, even without the bonnet, it is ready basically to go do a lap. So it's super close. I pretty much want to get it to a point where it's mechanically really good. The thing I've got to really weigh up is engineering this car is going to cost $5,000-$6,000. I didn't want to put a roll cage in it, but if I'm going to engineer it and I ever want to drag race it and go fast, I need a roll cage to go fast. So, knowing me being lazy, if I have the roll cage in it and the car's not engineered for it, I'll just never drive it ever. So I think if I get, the next thing I need to do before it goes to the engineer for initial inspection or whatever is, I probably need to pull my finger out and start on a roll cage for it. So that's probably, once the weather starts getting nicer. It has been ridiculously cold around here of late. I don't know, I've got the heater and that out there, but geez, even still, it's tough to get motivated to get out here sometimes at the moment. So hopefully in a month's time, the weather improves. I have an incredibly busy August coming up, and I don't know, unfortunately, if this thing's going to get much love until maybe after August. So the weather should be good there, and then we'll go full tilt on this, because my plan for the summer is, rubbing back a car when you want to prepare to paint it isn't a job for the winter, when you've got a wet, dry rubber car and you're absolutely soaked from, sandpapering and stuff. So that's the job I want to do over in summer, the summer holidays. I want to basically rub this car back. I'd really like to maybe get it to the engineer so he can tick off like the tunnel and stuff like that I've welded, so then I can actually maybe even paint the car. And then after that, you know, work on the roll cage and that, because I'll probably just do a normal Bolton style roll cage and that. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with this thing. So close yet so far. So yeah, I'm excited. I've got pretty much everything I need to do it. I just need to do it. Like lots of projects, like a lot of projects of yours out there too. So that's pretty much it for where this thing is at. Yeah, it's definitely getting there and it's progressing. It's just slow progress at the moment, but it will get there. And hopefully in 6 months' time, it'll be looking super sharp and ready to cut a few laps. All right, that's enough on this thing. Hopefully the next update's not 6 months' time. So hopefully I'll see you much sooner than that.